So I just want to talk about something that happened yesterday. I am full open transparency. Good morning, VGM fam. Matt coming to you live from Video Game Mansion. Today is Sunday, actually. So yesterday was a crazy busy day in the mansion. I opened up the doors around 15 minutes early, kind of almost shortly after I got there, just due to their people being already lined up. Was probably a mistake because I was busy all day long after that. I didn't have any free time. So my apologies, didn't record anything on Saturday. So I'm gonna get you guys caught up today once we get to the mansion, but it's gonna be a full day of restocking still. Got a decent amount of trade-ins yesterday as well. I only got to post in like our restock picture around 2 o'clock. So that kind of gives you an idea of how busy it was all day. Maybe editor Brandon can overlay a picture of the restock and the pickups that we got yesterday. There was a decent amount of Switch titles, GameCube, some PlayStation stuff, so a good mix yesterday. Brandon did pick up a huge lot of PS3 stuff, so he priced that all out for me, so that was easy to put away. But like I said, yesterday was just constant, so not really any time to pull out a camera and start recording. So my apologies on that, guys, but we're gonna get a full day of recording today. Video's gonna be great, don't you worry. I figured while driving out to the store today, we might as well talk about something. This is the question we get very often, either through Messenger or in person at the store, is how much do you guys pay for items? And I feel like to really answer this question correctly, we have to break it down. I feel like there's one of two customers. Customer number one do not know prices of items. So this is someone that on one spectrum will come in and have bought tons of, say, PS3 games back in the day when they were hyped and spent tons of money, and they come in and they can't believe that we're only offering them $30, $40 for all their games. Then you've got the other person who bought tons of Super Nintendo games at a garage sale back in the day, and they bring them in and we're offering them $400, $500, and they're blown away, right? So that's customer number one. Customer number one does not know the value of their items. And we're gonna say customer number two is someone who utilizes something like price charting or eBay sold listings to be able to determine value of their items. So on that aspect as well, you've got both sides of the pendulum. Someone who brings in, let's say, a lot worth $200 and they say, hey, give me 50%, so they want $100 straight in. Some people are realistic and they understand that obviously as a business, we have to make money on top of stuff. So we can't do direct trades for items or, give you full value, because then we have to mark up the item to try and recoup some money on top of it. So a lot of people are reasonable in that aspect that they understand that. Then in that bracket as well, you do get people that come in and they're wanting 80, 90% of price charting, eBay sold listings value for their items. And it's just, as a store, it's not doable. There's no margin there for us to be able to make anything off of it. And if we were to take it in at that, we'd have to bump up the margin, right? So then you're charging 110, 120% of what the value of the item is. And we don't want to do that. But the real answer to the question that we get a lot is, what percentage do you pay for items? And there's no cookie cutter mold for this. You can bring me in an item that's worth $400, but if I have 5 of them, that means I've got 2 on the shelf probably and 3 in back stock. I'm less likely wanting to pay, 30, 40% for it, because I know I can't move the item and it's gonna be sitting there for a while, right? So that's money I'm tying up for an item that I won't be able to sell and make profit off of. And what I always tell people is, if you bring me in a $20 game that I can't keep on the shelf, I will probably pay you $15 for it, because I know I can make $5 really quickly. It's not a huge profit margin. I mean, it's 25%, but I know I can move the item, so obviously it's desirable and obviously I want it, right? Say someone brings you in 20 copies of Wii Fit, tell you $5. Would you buy it? I wouldn't. I know they're not selling. I have so many of them in stock. I think we sell them at $3 at the store, and they still don't sell, right? So I don't know. There's no real answer to give on a definite percentage per buying, because it all depends on the situation. If you bring in some premium items, we'll pay out for it. If you bring in items that we have tons of, well, we're less likely to pay for it, or pay a higher percentage. I mean, if you want to give us stuff too, we'll take it, obviously. But when it comes to buying, though, our rule of thumb at the store is really pay as well as we can to try and flip the item as quickly as possible. We're not in the business of keeping items. We're in the business of moving items. We know better than anyone that space in a retail store is king. You need to keep moving items to keep having space on the shelves to put out new items. If you have the same stock, say 4 times, if someone comes in the store, they're not going to want to come back anymore, because they're going to say, there's nothing new here. Why do I waste my time? So we pay as well as we can. Like I said, there's not a definite percentage. All depends on the scenario. But I think the best thing to do, especially if you're a video game store or if you're a reseller, is to pay as high as you can, just to be able to make your margins. My only issue is when someone comes in with a more expensive item, let's say a $400, $500 item, and they're looking to get 80, 90% of value because it's a more expensive item. I've always struggled with that, even when I was at the flea market or just kind of reselling locally, or I don't know. For some reason, to me, when it's a higher dollar item, I don't understand the necessary aspect of having to pay up more for it because it's more expensive. I mean, yes, I will give you a higher percentage than like 40-50%, or probably go up 60-70, depending on the item. But I don't know, to me, I'd rather spend or pay a higher percentage on lower dollar items, like I've said before, kind of that I know I can move, compared to spending 70-80% on an item that I know is a very niche market and it'll take a long time to sell. It's nice having higher dollar items in store because obviously it's that ooh-ah factor, when you're kind of looking over the showcases and see a game that you haven't seen in a long time or something that's very rare. Obviously that is great for a store, but those are the games that are flying out the door every day. So I don't know, I've always struggled with that. What do you guys think? Should you pay up higher for more expensive items? I think to a certain point, yes, but not 80-90%, because then you're just pretty much paying just to hold it in store until you move it on to the next person. So it's more of a museum piece than anything at that point, I guess. I think one tactic that Brandon uses a lot more than I do is actually asking the customer first if they have a number in mind. So it kind of gives you an idea of where they're at, because you'll get some people that come in with 10 copies of NHL on the PS3 and they're asking $100, right? Or you'll have somebody come in and they'll have, I don't know, expensive game, and you ask them what they're looking for and they say $20. You say, well, I can pay you a lot more than that. So I guess it's a good tactic to use because it kind of opens the door for conversation and kind of already puts you in that mindset of knowing where the customer's at before you throw out your first offer. We're very easy to deal with in that aspect too. Like if we shoot you an offer, feel free to come back offer, counter offer, and we kind of work with you guys, right? Like we want you guys to leave happy, and obviously at the end of the day, an offer is an offer, so you guys get the decision if you want to accept it or not. We do cash or store credit. Store credit's a little bit more than cash, so we try and be reasonable. We try and be as helpful as possible. At the end of the day, we need more stock. You guys want to get rid of stuff, it works out in the end.
We interrupt this program to bring you.
The boys are gonna go hit up T&D's outdoor sale, so we'll see if we film there. But we're what are we on the hunt for? Tell them.
Skylanders.
Okay.
And Giants.
We're going for Skylanders, so yeah, we'll see what we find, guys.
Here's our haul from the T&D outdoor sale. The kids bought every Skylander they had there, basically. Ridiculous. We got Contra 3 for the store, $50, not bad. I think it's more like $60, so not bad. We got Transformers the game, same thing. Should put it in the store. This one's from my collection. I got Rainbow Billy, and then the best game of the lot, Mary Kate and Ashley Winter Circle. Joe told me I had to buy this. It's definitely his favorite game of all time. So yeah. That's
Hey guys, we're back in the mansion. So it's around 9 o'clock, so I came in pretty early this morning just to try and get some stuff done before open. There's still stuff everywhere from that big collection, and unfortunately we did not get the Nintendo and Super Nintendo that we were supposed to get. It is what it is. You win some, you lose some. But like I said, I was pretty busy yesterday, so we started putting in some of the Genesis into the showcase. Those are the over $40 games. I made a little bit of room up top here by moving over a little bit of the 64. That always sells really well, so makes it easy to be able to get a little extra room. But I also 3D printed some cart stands.
Nice.
So all the Super Nintendo games used to be like this, as you know, but now they're up on these displays, and I think it just makes it look so much better. It's kind of hard to see the games at the bottom sometimes. One, because of the angle, and two, because of the lighting. It's pretty dark in those showcases at the bottom, so really kind of pushing them forward like we have on the other display. Having that bottom section kind of front and center makes it a lot easier to see what's down there. But I did get through some Switch games, so our Switch section right now is really, really packed. We've got a lot of games. It's actually overflowing into the back. DS, really filled right now too. We have some nice CIB 64 and GameCube. GameCube we got a lot of right now, which is great. We always want to have these games for when we do Geeked Out, because like I said, that's kind of one of our best shows. I'm sure a lot of this will go then. My attack for today is just to keep picking through this. I think we'll just keep going with the games, because that's kind of the essential part. At least these boxed items, like people can look at them easily. But these games are kind of the most important thing to get out, and price and everything. So start grabbing some piles today and working through it. I do still have some PS3, PS5, and PS4 here from, and some PS2 from a trade-in yesterday. So I'm gonna work through those first and then start on the pile and table. So I just want to talk about something that happened yesterday. I am full open transparency when it comes to things like this. So a gentleman came in yesterday. He's from Mississauga. So for those that don't know, it's about 5-6 hours away from where we are. And was heading home for the day. He ended up picking himself up an original 360. Brought it home, plugged it in, turned on and everything like that. And he said while he was setting up his account, it unfortunately got red ring. Obviously, with him being so far away, it's difficult to do a swap of sorts or troubleshooting in general. But no matter what, we're gonna warranty the 30 days that we always give. So I think what I'm gonna do is ship him out a 360E or a 360 Slim. They're just a lot better and don't get red ring of death very often. I think the Slims do from time to time, but not as often as the originals. Obviously this one's on us, right? End of the day, console was tested. It was working. Brandon said he played Halo on it for a little while. So, but some things happen that are unpredictable, right? And I think it's the way you resolve issues that really determines and defines a business. We're going to eat the cost on the shipping out to him. Obviously, I don't want the console back. There's no point for it. So I'll ship him out a new console, the power supply for it because it's different. And hopefully it'll be a happy customer, right? So guy was very reasonable. He wasn't mad in any sorts and everything, which we really appreciate. But yeah, this one's on us. So we're going to get that sent out to him and hopefully everything works out in the end. Crazy busy day again. It started like 9:45. I let people in again and didn't have a second to myself all day. So let me show you what we picked up today. Yep, exactly. Another huge lot of games. This came from our friend Steve. Tons and tons of PS2. Lot of shelf filler. That's fine. We like getting that in. Sometimes the bread and butter shelf filler sells better than the $100, $200 games. So tons of PS2. This was another trade. Some DS, 3DS stuff. Our friend Marco stopped in today, so he already dug through that. So there was more. Some Xbox One, some PS5, PS4, then some 360, original Xbox. Harry Potter is one you don't get into often, so that's nice. A little bit of GameCube, some Wii U, and then another mountain of Wii. So we got lots and lots of games to sort through. And to add to that, we did get a couple Switch games in, a brand new Switch OLED, the Mario Wonder Edition, a loose Switch, DS Lite, GameCube. So we got tons in today. I'm fried. I don't even know what day of the week it is right now. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like I really dug through anything in this pile because of how busy it was today. So the nice thing is that a lot of customers will kind of like dig through this stuff and like we'll just bring something up to you out front and you're like, how much is this? Perfect, sold. So that's nice, but we like things being clean, presentable, you know, everything looks organized. And right now, this is really not giving that vibe for me. So really, really happy. We got to move some like Nintendo powers that we got from this lot and different odds and ends. But we definitely need to clear through this soon. Like this is all Atari games down here in these boxes. And you got an Atari in here. And yeah, so just need to sort through this stuff. And like as you guys can see, it's starting to be a little messy back here too. And obviously like we got a back room for a reason. So I'm gonna take all this cardboard home with me today, clean up back here and just try and make things look better. I think the funny thing is with how busy this weekend is that luckily I'm back in next weekend, but if it was Brandon, he'd probably come in and be like, what the heck did this guy do this weekend? Because like it doesn't look like I've touched anything here. Like it doesn't seem like anything's been moved. I have sorted through some stuff and put some stuff out from this collection, but it's like I couldn't really deal with this because I was getting that in, you know, like it was just, there's just so many questions right now. It's just, like I said, it's crazy how much product we've gotten in the last couple of weeks. And it kind of lives by what I said a couple weeks ago, right? When you're busy and you've got stuff planned, that's when everyone comes in. But when you've got nothing planned and you're kind of like a slower day, like it's just like there's nothing going on, right? So it's kind of funny how that works out that way, but that is exactly it. So this collection threw a wrench in my plan for the weekend. I was trying to knock out that whole table. I didn't even put a dent in it. So I do have a busy week ahead of me because I'm gonna have to prep a lot of stuff for next weekend, since this weekend, I don't know, you guys were on something special this weekend, and I mean, I'm here for it. It was an amazing weekend, but didn't allow me to film much. Again, my apologies. But this week's gonna be crazy because it's gonna have to be restock. I sold so many consoles this weekend, it was kind of absurd. We literally ran out of 360s, so I ended up selling a CIB 360 instead. Something that normally doesn't move off the shelf, but I guess technically it was cheaper than buying the Resident Evil or the Halo Edition one, so that's what they opted for. But anyways, guys, I'm just blabbering on here now, so thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Here we are back in the mansion. Holy.